by Design. Welcome to Wonderful Wednesday. This is a little weekly tutorial series that I do here on my YouTube channel. In 2024, we've been following a little weekly format. The first Wednesday of the month, we do our tag of the month. The second Wednesday of the month is our banner of the month, followed by our birthday card folio of the month. And then the last week of the month is our flower making tutorial of the month. And this month I'm featuring Spellbinder's beautiful Christmas rose. It's also known as a hellebore. Some of you may have these growing in your garden. Some people call them Lenten roses, but they make up into a beautiful Christmas flower, and I've used them on this shaker embroidery hoop. And these are also Heartfelt Creations Oakberry Lane. I might do those for our tutorial next month. And then these are the smaller versions of the hellebores. So sweet. These are the leaves that we die cut from the collection. And I'm just going to show you today how to make the flowers. The tutorial is not for the embroidery box. Maybe we'll save that for another day with another collection. But this is the Deer's Christmas Eve. That's what I've titled this. It's so sweet with these lovely little deer family in the woods, nestled in the woods. There's snow on the ground, a beautiful Christmas tree, some berries. There's a little bird hiding up in there. And this is just a really sweet little home decor piece that you could actually use all the way through winter. I've got a little O-ring hanger on the back. I've actually stacked 2 embroidery hoops together and put linen ribbon around the edges to hide the 3 layers of foam tape that I needed to make that tree fit in the back embroidery. So here's the paper collection. We took a closer look at this earlier this month. This is Stamperia Home for the Holidays. I love the woodland feel of this paper collection and the really lovely bright colors. It's just precious. So for my hoop, I use the 8x8 pad. I used the back side of this bird page because I loved this music text with the little flowers clustered around. But this whole collection is beautiful, perfect for mini albums, journals, and home decor pieces. So that is our paper collection for this week. I also used the die cut ephemera, which I dry brushed the edges with white chalk paint. These are really sweet little pieces with lots of woodland animals. I also have the collectibles pad that has lots of fussy cut flowers that you could use if you didn't want to make your own flowers. I just love all the little birds, all the little deer, bunnies, how home scenes, winter clothing. You could have a lot of fun with this. This is a really fun paper collection, especially if you do journaling. It's really handy. So let me clear this out of the way and we will get started making our Spellbinder's Christmas rose flowers. Friends, let's get started making these Helioborus Christmas roses. And the first thing I'm going to do is bring in a little 6x6 sheet of my specialty flower shaping paper. And I've got my Nouveau Mousse in Mother of Pearl. These are a real waxy looking flower, and we're just going to create this pearlized soft pearlized background with our Nouveau Mousse. Mine's a little dry, but I have found that if you wet it with a little water, you get back the ability to spread it around like this. And I'm just going in all directions, up and down, side to side, trying to fill in all the spaces, and you can see how that transformed. I'll bring in a white sheet so you can see side by side. And I like there to be little variations in it. But see, here's a white sheet and there's the sheet of the pearlized paper. So that's the first step. The second thing we're going to do, I've got a clean brush, and this is Nouveau Mousse. The color is called Spring Green. And a lot of these have sort of a green streak running through them, and I think this will be really pretty on Christmas projects. So I picked some up on my brush. I'm just going to kind of streak through with this green, not totally making it green, but just so that there's green streaks in it, like this. And it looks kind of messy here, but the amazing thing is when you die cut it, and I'm spritzing it just to help everything spread, when you die cut it, it actually looks really natural and terrific. It's amazing the difference that makes. So I'm just gonna kind of spread this around, move it around. Okay. And if you have a paper towel, you can sop up the extra. Let me see if I can find one. All right, so that's what I want, just that sort of a green shadow. And again, here's the white paper, and there's the mixed media paper, so you can see the difference. I'm going to heat dry this, and then I'm going to bring in my Winter Garden Christmas Rose dies, and I'm going to cut one of this 3-petal, one of this 2-petal. I'm going to take some green cardstock and cut my leaves. And then this little guy, we can make little tiny ones with the stamen and I forget what this part is called. These are greeny yellow, so I'll show you what I'll do. So let's go ahead and just get these heat dried and die cut. For this panel, I've already put my pearl on there, and I'm going to take Victorian Velvet and swipe it across my sheet. And I'm going to spritz it into little beads of water form. And I want to make kind of a speckled pink on this. I went online and looked at a bunch of different Helioboris roses, and they come in all different shades. And I want to get some of these little pinky ones. So I'm just gently rubbing over, and I'm going to pick up and see what we got. Okay, well, I'm going to heat dry this and come back and see if I can pick up some more. Okay, so I heat dried this, and I'm going to put it down in again and see if I can. I'm going to press a little harder this time. This is an experiment for me too, y'all. So yeah, see how we're starting to pick up like just these little streaks of pink? That's kind of what I want. I don't want it to read like pink, but I want it to be this sort of soft, blushy look. So I'm going to heat dry and repeat and pick up all this ink, and then that will be this panel. So that's how this one looks now. And again, I'll bring in a white panel to contrast. You can see it's just got this beautiful sort of streaky, blushy pink through it, which I really like a lot. The next panels I want to do, I want a red, but I want it to be like super, I don't know, like oxidized, I guess. So I'm going to use my Distress Oxide Fired Brick, and I'm going to swipe this across my craft sheet. Get some good coverage going on. And with oxide inks, it's when you hit them with water that the oxidation occurs. And it's just a more vintage, I think, shade that you end up with. So I'm just going to take this and I'm going to swipe it right through. This is just plain white cardstock. I'm just going to swipe it through. Hit this with my heat gun and come in for some more. So that's the second layer. Now I'm going to come in and just pick up some of these speckles by just tapping down into the ink. And I want to get those speckles in there if I can. I'm going to dry this and come back for some more. This next pair is how the fired brick oxide turned out. Isn't that pretty? When it's die cut, it'll be gorgeous. You'll see. Now I want to do some blue flowers to go with the Nutcracker collection. So I've got speckled egg. You just never know exactly how you're going to end up using flowers on a project until you get into it. But see, this is just super soft. See how pretty that is? Just want to pick it up here. Yeah, that's going to be beautiful. You always have to have leaves with flowers, so I'm just going to put down some shabby shutters, some peeled paint, and some crushed olive. I like to use a trio of colors when I do my leaves because I think you end up with a more realistic looking leaf if you do that. So I'm just getting these wet, and I'm just going to drag my paper through. So there's one. There's two. Let me take this back through. I think I'm going to put down some more of that peeled paint and try to darken this a little bit. It's a little bit lighter than what I wanted it to turn out. But I'm just picking up all these little bits of ink, and that turns out really pretty when you do the die cutting. So let's come in actually with some forest moss. This is really dark, but I think it's going to look pretty layered over. All right, and I'm just going to put this down and pick up ink. Oh yeah, see, that's pretty. I'm actually going to hit this with some of the new Distress Mica Stain. This one is Holly Branch. That's pretty. And it's got kind of a gold tint to it. And then this one is Tree Lot. All right, this is going to be a darker green. Oh, I like that combination for leaves. That's going to be beautiful. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing to my other sheet here. I'm going to bring this in while I'm making a mess. I might as well make a good one. All right, there's the Tree Lot. And the Holly Branch has sort of a gold, and these have to be heat set before you use them. So I'm going to clean this up, heat set these, then I'm going to start die cutting. So I decided to hit these panels with more mica stain before I die cut. And this was the Distress Oxide Fired Brick. And I hit this one with peppermint stick. And this one I just lightly spritzed over the background, which I like the way that turned out. And here, just to experiment, I did it on the white paper, and that's a little more intense than what I want. I love the subtlety of that. This one is the one that I did with just Distress ink and Fired Brick, and I hit this with Tart Cranberry. And you can see that's really, really pretty. And again, this side is the one that I did with the Distress ink, and this side was mostly just white paper. And then finally, I brought in my Speckled Egg Spray Stain and just lightly went over this panel, and it's beautiful. It's the exact shade that I want to go with Nutcracker. So now I am going to clean up my hands, clean up my brushes and my work surface and go do some die cutting. Then we'll make some flowers and leaves. I want to show you how to make these hellebores. I'm using the kind of lime green ones, and just like we always do, we're going to spritz them. You need these 2 pieces, you need 2 of these pieces, and you need that piece. These are a different flower that I'm also going to show you. So you just come in with your stylus, and I'm just pressing down in to shape these petals. The main thing with these is the way you put them together. Shaping them is not like, that's not a hard thing. It's pretty simple, really. And then just press into the center. You can come in with your tweezers if you like, and kind of shape them up and back, just to make them a little more interesting. I'll show you, this is my finished one. It's still drying, but you can see how pretty these are, and I think they'll be beautiful on a Christmas project. Same thing with this one, just same way we always shape these petals. Nothing, I'm not pressing hard, I'm just kind of lightly going around and rounding this. It's better to use light pressure and to do it several times than it is to like dig into your paper, because you don't want to tear it. All right. Then press this one. You can do the same thing here. If you wanted to add an inky shadow to the outside of these, you could, but I opted not to because these are, they're mostly like wax. So you see how this one is forming a V here where the petals are going up. So you want the 1 petal up on the top and the 2 petals down on the bottom. And it's going to kind of look like that. Take a tiny bit of your adhesive, whatever you choose to use, and lay this layer over the other and just kind of press that in, and you can move these petals around at this point so that you get the shape that you like. Did you see how I kind of just gently moved those? Now for these guys, they're green in the center. So I've got peeled paint, oxide ink, because it's going to give better coverage. And then you're going to come in, you want small, really sharp scissors, and you're going to cut down each of these little stamen pieces, and then just kind of twist your scissors a little bit to open those out. It's a gentle movement. Then come in with some glue, and you do both of these the same. I'm only going to show you one in the interest of time. Take your tweezers, small paintbrush. I'm using Dries Clear glitter glue. And I'm painting the ends, just the ends. And now I've got some pollen. And if you didn't have pollen, I suppose you could use glitter. That would probably look pretty good. And I'm putting those down in that pot of pollen. And I'm going to set these over here. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. While those are drying, I'm going to show you how to do this little guy. Again, you're going to go in and cut. I think this is called the calyx, and the other is called the stamens. But high school biology was a long time ago. See how I kind of did that? Then we're going to turn this, whoops, this way. On this little tail right here, you're just going to put a little bit of glue. Come in with your tweezers and just roll this. And it doesn't have to be super tight. And then just use your fingers to sort of fluff these guys out. And you're going to hit the tops of these with a little glue. If you had like a little pot, you could just dip it into the little pot, but this will work too. Bring in your pollen. See? So set this aside. I'm going to push into the center of our stamens. Adhesive in the center of one. I'm going to take the other one and stagger it. And I'm going to press right down into the center of that. Okay. And here's our little calyx. For this, I'm going to use hot glue because I want it to catch right away. I'm going to put this right down into the center. And once that dries a little bit, I'm going to fluff out that center. But then hot glue in the center of your Helioboris or Christmas rose and set that right in there. And that is such a pretty flower. I'm just kind of setting that down in. And I like to take like a little, I've got these little pots that my granddaughters made me. And I'm just going to kind of set that down in there. And once that dries, that's that. The leaves you shape like you always do and just attach them on the bottom. These little guys are super fun and super pretty. These are part of the Helioboris, and this is so if you wanted to make like a double. Personally, I like the single ones better. They're more classic looking. But again, I'm just rounding out. I'm going to press into the center. I've got glue webs here. Pressing into the center. Take a tiny bit of hot glue. Stagger these. Press that down in there. I'm going to go find some prills. So here's my flower. I'm going to take my Dries Clear. I find this actually works better than hot glue, the prills stick to it better. These are called Let Us Entertain You. They're kind of green. I wish I had more of a lime color, but I just want some of these in the center to make these precious little accent flowers. So there you go, guys. That is our flower tutorial. I don't think I have anything else to show you. That's our flower tutorial for November 2024. The Christmas rose, also known as the Helioborus. And I also made these sweet little blue ones with yellow centers. I thought these were nice. These will be pretty with Nutcracker Sweet. So that's it. Kathy Clement, Kathy by Design. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And that finishes our November series. Next month is December. I don't know what we're doing, but I'll let you know. All right, y'all. Go get your craft on. Bye.